Hey, Yasmin. Okay. So I have already shuffled and called in your guides. The first card that came out for our signifier for the energy is the Nine of Wands. Ooh, okay. And the Death card just popped out. All right. So um Nine of Wands, you already know that that's pushing forward and continuing to put up your boundaries and your blocks. I would even go so far as to put up your protections and maybe refreshing your rewards. Because I feel like these situations are really starting to eat at your energy. And then the death card. So this being major arcana with what we're about to ask, I think you already know where this is going. So the death card is about moving on. It is about um not fearing the change, not fearing to put things to bed and to rest. This is your rebirth. I really feel like this is going to be your rebirth, these changes. So anyway, let's ask about this guy that you asked me about the last time, the back and forth. I have my phone here so I can just go through your questions. So he says he has trust issues and jealousy. That's what keeps him from being able to grow love with you. I know it's just confusing you because and you're not being stupid. But do we let him go? It's a situation. Okay. A lot of fire energy in your reading. Six of Wands. Um, well, first we have the Seven of Wands, five, six, Seven of Wands, Judgment, and then the Six of Wands. This is just, this is telling me it's like you've got the good fight, but something bigger is calling to you. I'm telling you, this is your rebirth. I think, well, not I think, I see that as soon as you drop him, as soon as you're like, you know what? Um, thank you for being honest with me. I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the good dick, but you're not allowing me to grow. You're not allowing me to change and to flourish because he's kind of keeping you in a small pot here. If you're a plant, he's keeping you in a small pot, giving you water here and there. And of course, when he does give you that nurturing energy, you're like, this is bomb, this is badass, this could work. But then he's gonna flip on the other side and then leave you to dry, almost bringing you to the edge of death and then getting you back again. So yeah, at this point, I feel like you're constantly having to battle. You're battling your emotions, you're battling the situation, especially with this female, like all this stuff, like it's all extra stuff that you don't need. Um, and of course, the judgment is your rebirth. It's the universe is like yelling at you and you're not listening. So it's like, hey, okay, now here's your sign. Here's your reading. We're calling you. You're here for a rebirth. It was time to put these kind of situations to rest. It's time to move forward. It's time for you to move on to bigger things. And when you do move on to those bigger things, then we can start the celebration. Then you're going to get your abundance. Then the universe is like, bet Yasmin's ready. Let's do this. So, and just an aside, as your friend, yeah, he's just stringing you along and having his cake and eating it too. It's like, oh, I can't be with you 100% because I get so jealous, blah, blah, blah. Um, but you know, I love keeping you where you're at, where we are. Like it's like fun times, but you want more than that. Especially if you're gonna be dealing with crazy ass bitches. Nah, that's wild. Okay, the second is about your job. You're very comfortable with the doctor. You're in good standing professionally, except for this wild chick that's trying to fuck you over. Um, I don't know how. HR works, but you can start a paper trail and start filing grievances against her as she's doing to you, right? So she's trying to get you fired because you're dating this guy, but you're not dating anymore. So as soon as you put that to rest, like, bitch, we're not even together, like, get over yourself. And if she continues, I think you have a better case. Um, um, you don't know if you should leave for your mental health or fight this bitch. Well, let's talk about the work. If this work energy situation is something you should stay or leave. Uh, Two of Wands. Damn, this is a lot of fire energy, especially we're in Aries season. How about dealing with this chick? Advice for dealing with this psychotic woman. I will. Oh my goodness. High Priestess. Okay. As far as work, I think if you're gonna think about, okay, am I gonna stay here if I'm gonna go, right? I mean, obviously you know what you're doing. Obviously, people around your doctors push you to apply to medical school. I want to know what's stopping you. What's stopping you from taking that step? Because if it's because of this guy and you're comfortable, I think what's happening right now is that you're scared of your rebirth. Um, we can love the jobs that we're in, but sometimes we outgrow them. We'll stick to the plant analogy. Like it's like when a plant is growing and growing the roots and sprouting out new branches and new leaves and flowers, and we need to repot that plant so it can continue to flourish. And that means taking the plant out, shaking the roots a little bit, shaking them free, kind of like a tower moment. Releasing all of the old soil because we don't want to take that with us into the new plant, put it into the new pot, put it into the new pot with fresh soil, and then we begin to even grow even more. So I feel like this is where your guides are taking you here. With the Two of Wands, with your job, you're gonna have to sit yourself down and plan and focus. What if I stay here? What is my goal to when I stay here at the doctor's? What do I envision myself? Where do I see myself? Can I really go to school right now? What's stopping me? What happens when I do tread down this path? And that's what I see with this Two of Wands is starting to make connections. Even if it's just a change of scenery, maybe you need to go to a different doctor's office or just start seeing. It's not moving just yet. This is the planning period. This is like what's best for me. Am I gonna stay around with this fuck boy? And if I stay here, is that detrimental to me? Not just because of this female, because I mean she's crazy, everybody knows it. Not that you can't handle it. We all know you can, but why would you want to have that energy to have to do that? Or is this a higher calling? Like I said, this higher calling is like, hey, look at these different avenues. This is the time. This is where we're giving you the signs. Hey, everybody believes in you. You've got to believe in you, right? And with this signifier card, with this Nine of Wands, it's like, all right, if I'm going to start soaring, right? And I'm going to start feeling what ignites me, what is my passion, where do I want to go forward with this? I need to set better boundaries for people around me and for myself. What am I going to allow to endure? Like, am I really going to take this bitch, like, really being on my ass about this guy? No. And everybody else knows that she's a crazy. You know what I mean? Am I really going to let this person really take advantage of my love and my affection and, so to speak, my energetic sensual energy, because you're energy exchanging with him, right? Every time you're intimate. And for him to be like, oh, I can't get too close. All right, cool. He's already told you. So what boundaries do you need to set with yourself in order to, you know what? You already told me that you can't do this. But also I'm not going to allow you to just string me along thinking that I'm okay with this Because every time you go back, it's like, oh, you're cool with this kind of thing. And then you start arguing back and forth, and what's the point of the argument if he's being like truthful and honest about what he really wants, and what he really wants is you, but he doesn't want to settle down. Cool. Then you need to part your ways. As far as dealing with this chick, the High Priestess, another major arcana card. Um, these are all lessons that are gonna, I think, quantum leap you. Like you're gonna start making leaps and bounds if you are to start putting your foot down, start setting your boundaries, and get ready for your rebirth, right? So this girl that's all up on your shit, right? And why is she pissed? Because this guy, um, and I think you said she's pregnant. Like, okay, maybe it's hormones. Who the fuck cares? But if she's going to your district manager, filing complaints, saying that you're both inappropriate, and the thing is that she's angry. Why? Because she's also hurt, especially if she had something with him. I mean, he won't admit it, which why not? If he's being like honest with you, there's all like his honesty only goes so far. But I mean, if she went so far as to send you the screenshots of the conversation, I mean, yeah, she's a bitch, but the reason that she's acting like that is because she's coming from a place of probably hurt. You know, she was probably thinking, oh, this time is going to be different. And he continues to go back to you. And of course he's going to go back to you because you're fucking amazing. You're smart. You're beautiful. You know how to get work done. And you have an aura and a light about you that's going to attract a lot of people, good and not so good, like the leeches. So yeah, of course he's going to keep going back to you. Why wouldn't he? He'd be obviously fucking stupid, but he won't commit to you, which is super idiotic and obviously a red flag. But to her, all she sees is like, why didn't he choose me? What has she got? Instead of thinking like, fuck, this guy's just like bouncing around. So with the High Priestess, I don't know if I showed you the card. With the High Priestess card, this is you taking the situation with her, and instead of seeing it at the surface level, like she's being a little crazy, well, maybe not a little, because if you're going to managers up high, just because you're jaded, it is a little excessive. Um, but where is the deeper lesson? How are you really looking and reading between the lines here? What is your spirit team telling you? Like, why deal with a crazy bitch? Like, why bring in this wild energy? Hey, you know what? Even though you're crazy with everybody else, as far as me and him, we're not a thing. So we're not being inappropriate. Because at the same token, you could say the same shit about her and him, but I digress. Um, Yasmin, you have 3 major arcana cards. This is not just a mundane, it's not even a love triangle, but love triangle kind of thing between you, him, her, and your job. So I really hope you resonate with this reading and you can see what your spirit team is trying to yell at you, is really enforcing these boundaries and continuing to push, like have the willpower to keep going, even though you're probably exhausted, especially energetic wise. This is your rebirth time. You have to allow this yeah, it's already run its course. It's done. You know what you really crave is to be with him, but I would, besides, the intimate connection that you have with him, what else is there that keeps you going back? And if we can pinpoint that, then you can really start going back and be like, I can do this for myself without the extra drama. You should be able to go to work in peace without having to feel dread. And if she continues to push, then you'll have a leg to stand on, because now it has nothing to do with him. Now it's just that she's being a loca, you know what I mean? Like, hey, what is your deal? Stop. But you need to set your plans down. You need to start making more connections with people if you're going the medical route. So are you wanting to stay in this doctor's office, in this space? Is this where you feel like you are complete? Or is this just for right now? And if it's for right now, that's okay. But how long are you going to give yourself to stay there? And the other path is going to school. Or maybe, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to start new, like start fresh, go somewhere new and just see how it goes and see what other door opens. So this is your higher self. This is your calling. This is a lot more than just him being an idiot for, not bucking up basically and dealing with a crazy girl. But from what I'm reading, from what I'm seeing, everybody believes in you. Now it's your turn. You got to believe in you. You got to make this choice. I don't see a rush in it, but I feel that it's gonna come quickly because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that are the wands. Wands are fire, fire moves quickly. So I feel like whatever change is coming, once you set things in motion, once you set like this is where I'm gonna go, it's things are gonna happen pretty fast. And I mean, I love seeing that Six of Wands here. I really, really do. That is like winning if you were to just leave things behind that you know are not serving you. Like, deep down, this is not serving you. It's not going to change. Um, to move forward, especially, I feel like in this judgment card, especially like in your spiritual self, I feel like you're going to get that boost and just like hearing the call and just going for it. Um, And really, like I said, with this high priestess, looking within and looking past just the surface level of what's happening, really reading between the lines and looking through that veil. So, um, final message for Yasmin. And of course, if it doesn't resonate, let me know. If you have questions, let me know. Two of Swords. Okay. I feel like this is like what I do in a nutshell, right? So the Two of Swords, you're at a crossroads. Um, you're just gonna have to make choices here. Make choices, take your time with it, think logically, not so much with the emotion. And with the King of Cups here, the last message is the King of Cups has already been through this emotional roller coaster. They understand the dynamics of relationships. You understand what's happening here. Like you see it. If you don't see it, you feel it. But as far as moving forward, it's harnessing your feelings down and just being straightforward and knowing and saying, hey, you know what? I'm too grown for this. I'm too grown for this. I've been through relationships. I've been through this song and dance before. Thank you for reminding me who you are. And then with this other woman too, like, you know what? Crazy attracts the crazy. So if you're staying with this guy, he's attracting all, the crazy around you, and you're not about that. So yeah, continue to keep your cup full because for you to be depleted over this is not it. But with the Two of Swords, looking within yourself and really setting these plans. We're not putting them in motion yet. We're just setting the plan. We're thinking about it, and we're coming from a logical place because obviously moving and changing is hard. It's our comfort zone. So okay. I have my cards kind of everywhere. I can take a photo and I'll send them to you here on Instagram in a bit. But let me know if you have any questions, if it resonates, if it doesn't, if, whatever happens to come up, for sure, let me know. And yeah, I'll talk to you later.